everyone, and welcome back to the GSL Code S. It is the round of 16. I'm Artosis, joined by Rapid.
That is true. Also known as Budget Tasteless. Yeah, Tasteless is somewhere in the air on his way to America right now, so instead, you guys get me and Artosis. So.
Well, you know what? The round of 16, we just wanted to step it up here at GSL because it is one of the sickest round of 16s that we've had. Yeah. All these groups are just nutso good.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially today, we've got the defending champion Stats. We're going to be seeing him. I got a chance to see Biel, who I think is just like so impressive these days. Really stomping basically every tournament he enters. And I get to see Gumiho, who's really trying to make it a 5 horsemen of the apocalypse.
I know, right? Take a look at these groups, though. What would you even say is the group of death? Group A, B, and D?
I think a lot of people starting to say Group B is the group of death. You've got 2 insane Terran players. Classic, probably the best PvP Protoss right now. Unfortunately, he's in a group with no other Protoss players.
That's a hard group for him, but you know what? He's a fantastic PvTer as well. I hope he brings us some new stuff there. But yeah, all these groups are just too good. It's
like the Zerg group of death and Group D.
Oh my god.
Really interesting to see such kind of saturated groups with lots of just one particular race in there.
Yeah.
I think today probably one of the more evenly matched kind of groups.
Okay, so actually I want to talk about that a little bit. Okay, we're going to talk about new maps first. Whatever, we'll talk about it after. Ascension to Ire is one of the new maps, and if you guys have been playing on the ladder, of course this is on there right now, and it is a really fun map. I really enjoy the layout of this one. I've only been able to be playing for the last few days, a little bit, but I've had a good time on this map. I think it's a really cool one. I'm glad that we have it here.
Oh, we get a little bit of wait, are they actually drawing? Okay, I thought they were actually drawing on the map.
They might be. Gisato has a pen. Yeah, he's doing it.
Really? Oh my god, we gotta get that, man. I gotta be drawing smiley faces on the map while we cast. That's why we don't have it. Tasteless would be drawing inappropriate pictures on it all cast long.
He'd be going like from bottom left to top right.
Are we making a face here?
Oh, we definitely are. This thing is
it's like the nose at the bottom, the 2 eyes in the middle. This is hilarious.
Those are his horns.
Okay.
It's like an 80s anime guy right now.
I'm waiting for the smile to come out here. I think what they're trying to illustrate is, how to control the high ground watchtower in the middle, but that's not nearly as exciting as watching him draw a face.
And they're talking about, I guess that's where your third bases will go. You get to choose which one you want to try to take. Yeah.
We've never done this before, right?
We've had this occasionally with new maps, but it's always like them doing it, and it's just not how I would explain the map personally, but...
Well, here's our next map, guys. It's Odyssey, made by Avex, and this is one of the prettier maps in the map pool. Just absolutely gorgeous to see on screen, and really pretty to play on as well. So let's see what they draw on the map here.
Well, first a strand of spaghetti holding together 2 hula hoops.
It's obviously what it
And then a giant Pokeball in the center of the map. But yeah, I like this map quite a bit as well. I think that these are 2 very good choices. It's interesting to have a map of gold bases in here right now. And there's some cool things about the third base layout here, in my opinion. He just circled a place that you can take as a third. It's got like a little pocket behind the minerals, so that can be a bit droppable and stuff. So, like, you can either take that third, which is kind of like more closed off than the third, like, that's down the big ramp. See, he's showing the other third now. Oh, Gisato's screwing up. Come on, get those colors off there. But, yeah, it's cool because there is some flexibility with, like, where you take your bases and stuff. But I'm kind of more excited a little bit. Like, I like that map a lot, but the gold bases on Ascension to Ire on Ascension to Ire. Gold bases, if they're done right, I think are quite interesting at times, but it's hard to do them right? Because if Protoss, if Zerg can take them reasonably easily, especially against Protoss, there's not really a good counter to it.
Yeah, a couple of map pools ago, we had I think 2 maps with gold bases, and Protoss and Zerg would just like go take that map first, and then make their base and then defense it, and it was really difficult to deal with all that income. So.
Yeah, but. So those are the 2 new maps, and we got rid of Daybreak and something else.
Dusk Duskwing?
Deathwing?
Deathwing, yeah.
Deathwing? Okay.
No more Death.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody vetoed that map anyway, so we never got a chance to see it.
Yeah.
I think we saw it, like, what, twice?
Yeah, we saw it in, like, the first day when like the two guys who got out of the group didn't know that the spawns were locked like they used to be.
Oh, it was innovation, yeah. It was just, like, scouts the place.
It's
nobody...
hilarious. And they both got out of the group. It was just like...
Well, I don't know. I'm just playing StarCraft and just, like, make the units and kill the other dude.
I don't know what the starting spots are on the map, and it's like, whoa. Still
so
win.
we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple of new maps. They're in the map pool, so all the players should be very familiar with that. So looks like now we're going to move into some interviews.
Let's do it.
Or videos.
한 선수 보이긴 하네요.
한 선수 뭐예요?
네.
조성호 선수 마이크 한번 잡아주세요.
예상은 했어요. 뭐 ABC조 다 제 이름 부를 거라고 예상했고
네. 토끼가 아니라는 거 보여줄 수 있어요?
제가 조성호랑이라는 걸
이야!
호랑이! 근데 그 사람! 호랑이한테 달려가는데요!
야, 조성호랑인데.
뽑기가 진짜 저도 싫었었는데 근데 성호 말고 다른 선수들을 딱 보니까
네.
성호가 타깃으로 보이더라고요.
일단 저도 대엽이 형이 뽑아줘서 고맙고 이 자리 확정이라고 생각하고 열심히 준비하겠습니다.
복수하는 방법이 또 하나 있어요. 김대엽 선수 정말 싫은 선수 뽑는 거죠. 그런 방법도 있다라는 거.
네, 대엽이 형은 저그전을 좀 까다로워 하시더라고요.
이야, 저거 잘하잖아요.
네.
강민수 떨구고 왔잖아요.
네.
아, 알겠습니다. 이제 조성우 선수 쪽으로 마이크를 넘겨보도록 하겠습니다. A그룹에 가고 싶으신 분 계세요? 박영우! 자, 마이크 바로 잡고.
저는 이제 저 두 분의 꼭두각시가 될 수 있습니다.
아, 꼭두각시.
시키는 사람 뽑고 제가 사실 저 두 분을 되게 많이 도와줬거든요. 대엽이 형은 우승 2번 시켜주고 조성호 선수는 이제 결승하면 보내주고
네.
저는 그냥 꼭두각시로 살 수 있으니까 지으라면 짓고 물라면 물겠습니다. 한번 뽑아주세요.
어떠셨어요?
박영우 선수 저런 모습 처음 보는 것 같아요.
그렇죠.
그간 해오신 게 너무 많아가지고
사람은 누구나 다 변하니까요. 정말 진짜 착실하게 살라고 노력하고 있습니다. 한번 뽑아주세요.
가 있다면 지금 원하는 선수 2명 그대로 다이렉트로 다 뽑을 수 있어요.
꿇었어요. 꿇었어요.
지금 꿇었습니다. 아니, 조성호가 꿇는 게 아니라 박영우가 꿇었어요.
꿇어도 돼. 조성호 선수 생각지 않아요. 넘어가면 좀 보내버릴 수가 있기 때문에.
그렇죠.
다시 한 번 봅니다. 안전이에요.
저렇게까지 해주시니까 좀 미안한 마음이 좀 드네요.
한전 선수가 생각한 종족은 어떤 종족이에요?
저는 아무나 상관없어요.
아무나 상관없어요?
제가 조지명식 전에 대엽이랑 약속을 했었는데 지켜줬으면 좋겠어요.
뭔가 만나고 싶은 선수가 있는 것 같아요.
전태양이에요? 와! 이거 같은 팀이니까 이렇게 뽑아주는데 이렇게 뽑아 전태양 선수 선택 이유가 뭐예요?
어차피 제 상대가 아니라서
내 상대가 아니다.
만나고 싶은 선수가 원래 있나요? 한지원 선수 입장에서?
지금 고르고 있어요.
고르고 있어요?
네.
아니 그 김대엽 선수랑 무슨 관계길래 이렇게까지?
제가 대엽이의 우승을 엄청 열심히 도와줘서
완전 와 그렇군요. 최고의 권한이죠. 지난 시즌 우승자의 시드 이 권한을 이용해서 선수 교환을 하도록 하겠습니다.
결정은 했어요. 보낼 선수는.
그러면 여기서 보낼 선수에 대해서만 언급을 한번 해주세요.
일단 굉장히 좀 안 어울리는 티를 입고 있어요.
안 어울리는 티를요?
하늘에 떠 있나요?
하늘에 떠 있어요?
혹시?
예.
어떤 선수를 보내실 거예요?
네, 저는 저하고 같은 유니폼을 입고 있는
네. 전태양을
TY를 일단 보낼 겁니다.
저는 여기 남고 싶어요. 여기 남으면은 남고 싶은데
시조가 너무 행복해 보여가지고 저는 솔직히 내 조만 우리 아이들만 우리 성호만 행복했으면 좋겠거든요.
이야! 조성호 행복상 준비했다.
우리 성호만 꽃길만 걷자.
이 두 친구는 제가 이제
그 친구네. 그래,
정이 많이 싹 텄거든요.
우정이 싹 터가지고.
네, 마지막에 들어온 이제 현우는 뭐 보내도
신입 정도.
괜찮아요.
너무 말이 안 되는 소리를 해가지고 듣는데 너무 제 심기를 건드렸고요.
건드렸어요?
네.
제가 가는 거는 좋아요.
좋아요?
아니다. 안 좋아요. 안 좋아요.
아니, 잘 보고 생각하세요.
잘못 생각했다.
예?
잘못 생각했어요.
말 잘못했어요?
네, 잘못 생각했어요.
근데 저는 C조에 있는 것보다 A조로 가는 게 진출 가능성이 더 높다고 보거든요. 한번 하시죠, 저랑.
이러다가 제가 태양이 안 바꾸고 저기 병렬이 자리에 제가 그 변님이 누구 무서워하시지? 신영이?
잠시만요. 신영이? 저도 생각을 잘못했어요.
김대엽 선수의 절대 권력 행사 들어가겠습니다.
일단 전태양을
누구로 보내나요? 누구로 보내나요? KT 같은 팀, 지금도 같은 팀인데. 설마? 바꿔주나요? 시조 막는 정말 가기 싫다고. 백동준 어떠냐고? 백동준 안 된다고.
시조 난리 났어요.
백동준 시조 지금 전부 다 고개를 흔들고 있어요.
네, 김준호 웃음기 사라지고 있거든요.
김준호 인상 쓰고 있어요. 자 이제 누구를 데려? 고병재. 와, 김도훈은 못 갔습니다. 야 이렇게 되면 위치 바꿔주세요, 전태양이. 이시정과
약간 예상을.
와 이건
좀 하기 어려운.
사실 C조는 건드릴 생각 없었어요. 그냥 좀
행복하라고.
너무 행복해 보이길래.
아유 저는 폭탄 맞을 줄 알았는데 갑자기 선물이 날아온 그런
선물이에요?
마음에 들어요?
저는 솔직히 이신영 선수랑 처음에 하길래 담담한 척 했지만 진짜 끝장났구나 이렇게 생각하고 있었는데
여기는
네?
너무 행복해. 웃음이 나와요?
훨씬 낫다고 생각해요.
훨씬 나요?
Okay, so there you have it. That was the group selection. Actually, what you were talking about before, I want to go over real quick, how there's like a lot of mirrors and groups stacked like that. And during the course of the group selection, a lot of the players, when they were choosing who they ended up choosing, were citing that this was probably the easiest match for them. And everyone kept choosing mirrors, which I kind of taken away to mean because everyone's so good right now that it's like the game is really complicated, and there's like a lot that goes into trying to beat someone of a different race, whereas playing your own race is so much more straightforward, you know what I mean? And so I feel like that's a big part of why we saw, and of course, you know, maybe part of it's like, yeah, Trap seems weak, but he's a great PvP player, like Stats even said there. So just a very interesting thing. I think it's just like all the players showing respect for how hard StarCraft 2 is in general right now.
Yeah, every time you say he's a great PvP player, I think you're saying he's a great player versus player. Like, no, those
that as well. That as well.
Absolutely. So here are our matchups for today. It's Stats versus Trap for our first best of 5.
Yeah.
And Bjol versus Gumiho.
Okay, who are you thinking? Who gets out?
Okay, so I think Stats probably has a higher pedigree. A lot of people talk about how he may be going through a slump right now. I hate that word.
No,
I think
he's
super good.
Those people are stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell them they're stupid next time you see them say it. Yeah.
This is where I get on the internet and I type, you guys are so stupid.
So who is it then?
So I think Stats is probably going to beat Trap.
Okay.
And then for our second matchup, probably Bjol. I just think Bjol is just insanely good right now. But Gumiho has really been making a resurgence.
Yeah. Top 2 though. Top 2. Who
I think Stats and Gumiho. Or Stats and Gumiho. Or Bjol.
Oh, okay. So I think most people would probably agree with you on that. I'm actually going to take a little bit of a different guess, a little bit of a different bet here. I actually think that there is a very good chance that Gumiho and Bjol get out.
Really?
Yes, and I mean I love Stats, and Trap is a dynamite PvP and PvZ player. I've always very much respected those matchups for him. I do think Trap is one of the weakest in the round of 16 this time.
Right.
But like Stats, I can see him falling to all 3 of these players. I think he's favored against Trap slightly, and like he can take out the other 2. But Gumiho is a man on fire. He has been since Super Tournament. He should have beaten Hero at the time where everyone was complaining about Adept Phoenix. He had already figured out how to beat it, and he should have taken out Hero, to be honest, 3-2, or even 3-1 in that match. He's been playing godly since he's been winning Elimo Leagues. He's been killing everything. Gumiho is in ridiculous shape. He's playing his own strats. He's like morphing the game into his image. And Bjol is just ridiculous good right now. So I actually think those 2 are going to advance tonight.
Okay. Well, that's going to be our second series. To start things out here, we do have Trap facing off against Stats. And, Stats a little bit weak in his group. He split a series against Scarlet. And, those were pretty good games. But it's really, it also lost 0-2 to Classic, who's just a master in that matchup. So now he gets the chance to face off against a Protoss, maybe a lesser caliber than Classic, but still very strong in his own right.
Classic is a god of PvP at the moment. Hopefully Stats learn something from that, but Trap has always been really good PvP. But when he was really a top-end PvP player, the PvP looked a lot different than it does right now.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into our first game of our first set of the night. It's going to be Stats taking on Trap.
Beat me, hate me, you can never break me. Will me, thrill me, you can never kill me. To me, sue me, everybody do me. Kick me, strike me.
spawning down on the bottom right-hand corner of Whirlwind.
Splice. Stats.
Let's cheers for from the crowd for the reigning GSL champion Stats. And his opponent in the red, also playing Protoss in the upper right-hand corner.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
All right. So, this PvP going to be exciting. Nexus first from Stats here.
Wow.
And is Trap scouting him first? It looks like he is.
It does look like that, Artosis. So, yeah. I mean, this is when things kind of get a little bit wacky. I think PvP, by far, as like the matchups go, very versatile. You can see almost anything.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
This really sort of gives you a lot of guidance, and he'll find out as soon as he sees this Nexus. A lot of guidance about how to play it. More so than you would have if you're just trying to come out with a build and you don't know what your opponent's going for.
Now, this is going to be really interesting to see what Trap wants to try to do against this. Obviously he is going for 2 gates as an opener. He probably does not want to just go into Nexus. That'll just put him behind.
Right.
But will he have something prepared to actually kill this off with? A lot of times when you go for something like Nexus first, you're just going to basically chrono boost out Stalkers quite a bit and maybe try to get a Robo up and defend against everything and then just win because you have 2 Nexuses. But let's see what he goes for. Okay, a couple of Adepts, but of course Stats has the wall ready. So the Adepts, are they going to be able to get in? Don't know.
Yeah, so every time I watch PvPs, and I think it's very telling at how even these win rates are. Of course, Stats may be doing a little bit better in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah.
But every time I watch Protoss play, I always ask myself, well, why aren't you just doing every build that Classic does? Because he's so good.
Yeah.
But it's important to notice, individual player styles and how they want to play things. I think this is very tailored to Whirlwind being such a big map. Maybe a little bit unfortunate that he got scouted early on, but Nexus first doesn't look like it'll be punished too badly.
Well, you're certainly right about the scouting first thing.
Man or Pylon?
Yeah, so he's just flying down his mothership core. He's causing a lot of loss of mining time with the first pylon. He should cancel that. There you go.
Yeah,
throwing down a couple more, and that's a lot of mining time, man. It's definitely something you got to consider here. And look at that. See, he cancels his at the last second to get his Adepts, and this is some great execution right now from Trap.
Oh my god, Stats might just be in so much trouble here. Mothership core even going to get down. There's the overcharge, and there's really just not so much that Stats can do.
Yeah, he's killed 4 probes already, a lot of lost mining time. The Mothership core has taken a bruising as well. 2 more Adepts are about to be down here, and that natural also.
All right, so all you got to do is hang on if you're up a base, but another overcharge there might actually kill that Stalker. Last hit doesn't connect.
Just barely gets him out of there. 3 more Adepts going to shade into this natural, and there's no energy left on this Mothership core. It's going to take a bit for another overcharge, and 2 Stalkers or Mothership core do not kill Adepts that quickly.
No, they certainly do not. The Shades are going to be able to follow the probes around or just make it back into the base, and it looks like this is doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Stats doesn't have a better defense against this, but I have to hand it to Trap. He did not blink. He put his pylons in the right place. That cancel at the wall was amazing to let the Adepts in. That was crucial.
Yeah.
If he had let that finish, it doesn't really do anything, but to have the Adepts come in and have it timed out that well is, wow, I'm so impressed.
Well, he didn't blink because he hadn't researched it yet. But the control there, very good. And I'm just going to segue way past that. The Oracle coming in, now we get a chance to see how fast that Oracle can be and how good it will work out. It looks like a great defense once again, and Stats is going to hold on.
Okay, Stats pushing up the map right now with a couple of Adepts. The probe count is actually pretty even right now, which is interesting, but the tech goes to Trap. So even if they're kind of even as far as economy goes, which Stats should be happy with considering how much damage was dealt to him, he doesn't have a starport. So he's playing against someone who just has superior tech scouting, all that stuff.
Oh, double Oracles coming in there. A little bit late on this overcharge. Only 2 Stalkers is not that scary.
Yeah, he gets one of them, but 6 more probes. You can't be losing them like that. A lot of damage done there.
I mean, it might have been okay to lose a few workers if you're up a Nexus, but now expansion's down for Trap as well. And like you said, Artosis, he's got that tech advantage, and he's putting it to work. Lots of great Oracle control and continuing to take out these workers.
Where do you go from here as Stats, who has no tech? He has What's he have? He has like 4 Stalkers and a Mothership core? This is not the situation that you want to be in.
Certainly not. I mean, you still have to play defensively because you're going to get shaded on. You're going to have these Oracles and your Mineral Lines. And right now, Stats trying to hang on. He's continuing to get higher Stalker numbers, but I think he might just be losing too many probes.
Yeah, even with these Stalker numbers, the Void Rays are out. Now, please do realize, guys, that this is the new patch. So Void Rays now have Siege mode, but it doesn't increase their range, right?
Yeah. I mean, so it increases their damage. And in case you're wondering what we're talking about, you're not familiar with the new patch, when you use Prismatic Alignment now on Void Rays, it slows them way down. So you really have to put them in a decent spot, which usually is overextending, and then turn on your Prismatic Alignment, because once you turn that on, you're really just not going to catch anything.
They are so slow now when they have Prismatic Alignment on. You can't catch anything. You can't really move anywhere. So definitely a big change as far as those Void Rays go, but still, he has Void Rays. What does Stats have? He is getting a little bit of harassment done now, which is nice.
Yeah, really economically focused, and I mean, sure, these Void Rays will be. This is where we watch them both prismatically align. The Adept just walks away.
Wow.
But yeah, good defense, but still 8 probes going down, and this has been a really scrappy game.
Stats right now going into his own Robo and a Templar Archive, so he might be going for Storm, but if Trap just simply techs up into Disruptors, this is going to be like just a very good composition for him against what Stats has here, which is just unupgraded gateway units at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Stalkers are only so good, guys, and especially with these Void Rays coming up, this it sort of tells me that this might be a preparation to go even further into the late game. But right now, we're still stuck on 2 bases, and it does look like Trap has the better, higher-tech army.
He really does. Look at that. It's a scary group of units right there. More gates being added on both sides. The Prism is coming out for Trap, so he's going to be doing something with that. Is it just going to be some light Adept harassment, or is he just going to go try to bust? Looks like it might be a bust.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about some of the limitations of the new changes to Prismatic Alignment, but one thing that is still very true, and maybe even more so now, is that Void Rays still kill buildings ridiculously quickly. So buildings don't run away unless they're Zerg buildings.
Or Terran buildings.
Yeah, that is true. Well, even then...
Protoss buildings don't run, though.
Well, even though like a Terran building flying is probably about as slow as a overcharged Void Ray.
Actually, I'd love to test that.
All right. Picking up that High Templar, huge.
Yeah.
Not going to be allowing that to defend, and this push is going to be so devastating. 3 Void Rays and a Warp Prism for Trap.
Wow, great pullback by Trap as well. Stats threw down a couple force fields that would have killed off his sentries, but a great dodge. Now, he's continuing to push up here, and this army of Stats just cannot hold on against it. So he makes an Archon.
Yeah, trying to save those High Templar. The Morph will keep them alive for now. There's that Prismatic Alignment fighting into these Void Rays. Great control by Trap.
Trap, though, not targeting with the Void Rays at the moment. He was killing only sentries with that Prismatic Alignment on, so missing out on a lot of that bonus damage, unfortunately, but still has this Immortal warping in more Stalkers as well.
Keeping on the pressure, Gateway starting to go down. Stats will have a few more reinforcements coming up, but that's going to be about it. And with this Warp Prism control, it's going to be able to get that Blink Micro on. Probes being pulled.
Oh, man, and the Stalkers coming up. They pick off all the Void Rays finally, but he is playing against a vastly superior force right here. Mothership Core comes out, and it's not really going to be able to get anything else done.
Oh, Stalker's just too low tech to deal with that Immortal way in the back. So much damage being dealt by Trap, and GG. Trap takes game number 1.
Yeah, well done by Trap, really punishing that Nexus first play. He's got very decisive, very strong PvP, and has had that for basically his entire StarCraft 2 career. So Stats now, who had the first pick in groups, plus that wild card, losing game 1 with a strategy that is risky.
I mean, it kind of gives me flashbacks to Stats around 32 games. His PvP is a little bit off, and I mean, you really just can't say too many bad things about Trap. He saw the build, he knew exactly how to put pressure on, had his wacky overcharge battles in the main, and wound up punishing Stats really heavily for going for that greedy start.
Yeah, it was super well done. So kudos to Trap on that. Perfect execution almost. Next map going to be Odyssey. Can Stats make the comeback here? Because if he goes down first, man, like Biel or Gumiho in the loser match, that's tough.
Yeah, you got to win those last 2 games. That's really going to be difficult. So here we go, guys. It's our new map, Odyssey, for game number 2 of Stats versus Trap. here we are. Our blue Protoss player spawning on the bottom right-hand corner.
Splice. Stats.
Yeah, losing that game number 1 to what was really just a very well played strategy, well executed. His opponent in the red in the upper left-hand corner.
Jin Air Greenways. Trap.
All right, so probably no Nexus first this time around, especially since it's a 2-player map.
Yeah,
You're gonna get scouted.
It's a risky strat, no matter what. But on a 2-player map, like you can't even do it because your opponent will just scout you too quickly. There's too many ways for it to go wrong.
Yep, pylons are good units.
Yeah, they are, especially in PvP, man. Oh
yeah,
jeez. But okay, so Odyssey, one of our new maps, definitely a very fun one. Does have that choke that you can kind of attack into. So some of these force field immortal pushes can be good.
You just activated my trap card. Well, you might have that first 2-0 here. We'll see how well that works out.
The second 2-0 is not going to happen, I don't think.
That's a little bit optimistic.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to rain on any Trap fans' parades or anything, but we'll just see what happens here. So, Probe coming across the map.
By the way, for anyone that hasn't gotten to play or watch this map at all that water that you see around the map is unbuildable. That's, I guess, the only thing about the map that you can't just necessarily tell right off the bat. I didn't know until I tried to lay a stasis ward and build a pylon. So, yeah, it can't build anything there. It doesn't really matter that much, but just pointing that out.
Yeah, I saw a couple of articles about how apparently like around the edges of the water, it's like a little bit weird with building buildings like around it. So sometimes it's a little bit deeper than you might otherwise imagine.
Well, you want to zone properly anyways. You don't want water damage in your house right off the bat, right?
Well, I guess pylons kind of float on top of that, right?
Yeah, you're right. We should be able to build pylons anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. they just float. They also should be able to move because they float around.
Well, that'd be awesome. I believe at the very beginning of like Wings of Liberty beta, or before the beta even came out, at some point in StarCraft 2, they were thinking about making cannons able to move, which is really funny.
I still want.
Thank God they didn't do that, or Tasis would be the GSL champion by now.
I just miss dark pylons, man. Those were the real
dark
macros.
Pylons.
Yeah. So in the Wings of Liberty beta, each race had a macro ability, and for Protoss it was a dark pylon. You built the pylon in your mineral line, and it made your probes mine faster.
Yeah, I remember this. I do remember this.
So
God,
broken.
That was so long
Unbelievably broken. So that didn't make it in. And we did have a double adept start on both sides. Sometimes you'll see one player go for 2 stalkers instead of 2 adepts. There are the 2 stalkers that I mentioned previously. But unscouted there, Trap, not aware that Stats has this Nexus on the way.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. But as far as the builds go here, okay, Stats is going to add his own Stargate. It's a little bit later, and there's already a Phoenix on the way for Trap. So the Phoenix, like, the fact that he has a Phoenix already building means that he has countered Stats well. His Nexus is slightly faster, and his Phoenix is faster than whatever Stats is going to make. And whether it's Phoenix or it's Oracle, that gives a lead to Trap.
All right, so maybe one Adept about to be picked off here. A couple more hits, and it would get taken out. Wow, actually brings it back. That's a little bit careless, and now 2 Stalkers will get into Trap's mineral line.
This is really nice by Stats.
2 more Adepts here, too.
Oh, God.
This is going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah, it really is. 4 kills. He's definitely going to finish that Shade, too. He's got to get back up there.
Oh, man. There are a couple of Phoenix here, so at the very least... Wow. An Adept just blew up.
This was a very valuable moment. I'd love to see it cancel that Robo, by the way. That would be some baller moves. Oh, yes. Oh, Stats.
Damn.
You are a sicko. That is so good. Like, the Robo is so worthless against Phoenixes that it's like you might have an observer and fly it around a scout or something, but, like, just save yourself the 75 gas. If your opponent goes DTs while making Phoenixes, then... I mean, he either deserves or the win or loss, whatever happens, it's like whatever. He's just like flipping a coin that almost always lands heads up for you.
That's where you start like blurring the lines between being a genius and a terrible player.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly it. That's a great way to put it. It's like you only won because you're bad.
Yeah.
Or SOS would do it to win $100,000 probably.
It's like Hydrologic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think probably even more valuable than those 4 probe kills that Stats was able to get is getting that information, seeing that Trap is going to be going Phoenixes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then coming back here, even with a nice couple of lifts into an overcharged pylon, Stats doing very good on both the offense and the defensive ends. I think the only thing he's kind of behind on are these Phoenixes.
Yeah, I find it a little bit interesting, by the way, that he threw down the Twilight right away. I love the cancel on the Robo, as I previously mentioned, but the Twilight, he's going to go into Blink. Which I'm not like a super duper big fan of. You know, obviously, if you're both going Phoenixes, if one guy super commits to Phoenixes and the other one is trying to like kind of half-ass it, you have maximum of like 1 timing that you might be able to get them with. But you know, he's going for Blank, and okay, Trap throws down another Stargate. So I like his spot a little bit more, right? If you have like a good amount more Phoenixes than your opponent, you wipe them all losing very little, and then your Phoenixes are worth so much throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, and especially when you're going Blink Stalkers against Phoenix, that's sort of balanced on a knife's edge. Either you get that big Blink in, you can pick off the Phoenix as they come in and try to harass, and you know, that's how you get further ahead. Or the Phoenix just lift all your Stalkers, kill them off one by one, and you just kind of sit there and watch it. So... yeah, that extra Stargate really does represent a commitment to by Trap to this air army, and if he does get that you know, Phoenix on Phoenix advantage and is able to pick up those Stalkers, then he's in a great spot.
Well, it looks like he's going to have that advantage most likely, especially considering he's going to have 2 Immortals out. He's even making a slight wall here, so it's going to be hard to attack in. This is looking very good for Trap right now. Stats might get 2-0'd by the guy that he chose first out of everyone in the round of 16.
Yeah. That is how you know your strategy did not quite work out. And I love these Immortals added in. If you know your opponent's going for Blink Stalkers because he's behind on Phoenixes, here we go. Phoenix on Phoenix is going to work out for Trap, and those Immortals are going to do great against Stats Stalkers.
Good turnaround there by Stats, realizing that was going to be a lost battle for sure. Going to rally in some more Stalkers, so he still has a little bit of play here, of course, having Blink finished. Adding his own Robo at home, but more Immortals on the way right now for Trap.
Yeah, and that forward pylon for Trap does have the gate, or for Stats does have the gateway by it, so he will be able to get some reinforcements very quickly in there. To continue to reinforce this army, I mean, he's going to have that Blink, but Micro is going to be incredibly important, and you can't blink out of Graviton beam.
Oh boy, all right now, chasing him back. Those Phoenixes do take the little advantage. Now look at this, it's actually Glaives against Charge. Of course, Charge now cheaper, down to 100 to upgrade, so we're definitely going to see a spike in the amount of Charge we see. But Adepts can still do pretty well against Charge lots. You know, you keep your stuff kind of in a ball, and you know, maybe you have some Force Field is reducing the surface area of Zealots on your army, and the Adepts are going to be able to clean up. So I'm still really liking the position of Trap in this game.
Yeah, what is Stats really doing here? He's poked in at the front, and both times it's like, well, I just can't fight this army. So, I mean, especially with the forward pylon, you can tell he's trying to put on aggression. It's just not working.
Yeah, I guess he kept the pressure on and gets his third base first, so that's nice. But ooh, look at this harassment!
Oh my God, totally unprotected. No Mothership Core.
Oh my
no
God.
Overcharges. What just
Literally
happened,
nothing
Artosis?
Yeah, now it looks like he wants to move in. He has enough Phoenixes to lift up some Immortals, so that's nice. But what's he going to do against the overcharges? Plus, he has so many Adepts. Even if you lift those Immortals,
he damaged the Gateway, Artosis.
Yeah, he lost all his probes and damaged the Gateway. Like,
okay, I mean, there's a good Blink forward. That's going to take out at least one, but losing 16 probes, Artosis. Oh my God,
dude, he's like pretty much dead. Like Trap has more Phoenixes and a better composition, and killed all his probes.
Well, finally, Stats learned how to overcharge. Whoa, sickest feedbacks. That's actually really going to limit these Phoenix numbers and might actually give Stats this victory.
Looks like he almost clears every single Phoenix here, so very well done. Just one left over for Trap, but still, this army is really, really scary. Mostly Blink Stalkers in here, and against 4 Immortals, they are not going to fare too well.
Yeah, needs to get in there and lift the Immortals, but there's no more Phoenix to do that. And even with a great Blink Micro, you can't blink away from Immortal attacks.
No, it's definitely dealing a lot of damage right now. Those Archons, though, doing a good job of soaking quite a bit. More and more units being warped in, and a powerful Blink forward. Oh my God, but he's taking a lot of damage from these Stalkers. That offensive Blink forward, getting to pick off a couple Immortals. Luckily, there's no more warp-ins here for Trap, so Stats might hold on.
Yeah, more High Templar being warped in the back, so he's going to have additional Archons coming in here. There's no good warp-in position here for Trap, so this is going to be all of his army, but it's getting so much damage done.
Oh my god. Down goes that Mothership core. The couple of Archons doing some work for sure, but good targeting right now on these Immortals. Nice stepping back right there. Some more units are headed down as well, but this has been pretty efficient, I would say.
These are literally Immortals. Okay, well, it just died there. Thank you very much. But he's going to be able to take this one out. A couple more attacks, and wow, good takedown on that Archon, but another big shade in here. Trap pouring on the pressure.
More Zealots being warped in to charge on top of these Adepts, but they're doing a good job. Some nice kiting coming out of Trap while he shades up into that main base.
Oh, and even taking out that Observer there at the same time. And yeah, Trap wins that battle. He's going to be able to take out even more probes.
I think you said it perfectly. Trap wins.
Okay.
You just stop right there.
Try not to be anticlimactic, Artosis.
Well, I tell you what, Trap has played a very strong PvP series this time, and stats, I mean, he had some cool moves and stuff, but I don't really like his PvP right now, to be honest. Not against Classic and not here tonight against Trap.
I don't think he likes his PvP right now either, Artosis. After picking Trap into his group, and of course you guys heard all that smack talk during the group selection, and now another Warp Prism coming in, another big Warp, and that's going to do it. GG Trap makes it out 2-0. Will advance to the winner's match.
That's a big deal right now, and I got to tell you what, right now, Yul and Gumiho are smiling, because whoever wins their match is now favored in the next match. They are both, without a doubt, better than Trap right now, and this is like exactly everything that they wished for, and the prophecy is becoming fulfilled right now, Rapid. I think that Stats is really not making out of this group. I really think it's going to be Gumiho Yul.
It's written in the first Tasteless Chapter 6.
Yeah. Oh man, that was good play by Trap. Just very solid all around. Stats kind of, I don't want to say hemming and hawing, but like he was getting his comp countered quite a bit there. Of course, the Nexus first play on Whirlwind.
Oh, yeah, that was really good.
Both risky and a bit unlucky getting scouted first. But
we're going to head out to a quick commercial break, guys. Don't go anywhere. We've got game number 2 of Yul versus Gumiho coming up.